Imagine waking up one day and realizing that every decision you've made, your thoughts, your actions, even your emotions, was subtly influenced by someone else. You thought you were in control, but you weren't. You were played. Manipulation isn't just a skill. It's an art, a dark, psychological game used by those who seek power over others. From relationships to politics, cults to corporate strategies, manipulation is everywhere. And if you don't see it, chances are you're already a victim. Manipulation is as old as civilization itself. Those who master it rise to power. Those who fall for it become pawns in someone else's game. But how do manipulators work? What techniques do they use? And most importantly, how can you protect yourself? In this video, we're going deep into the world of manipulation. You'll learn about the psychological tricks that manipulators use, the real-life cases where these tactics shaped history, and how you can recognize the signs before it's too late. Subscribe if you are new here, and let's get started. To manipulate someone is to control their perception of reality. This is done through emotions, logic, and subconscious influence. The key psychological principles behind manipulation are: Number 1. Emotional exploitation. Manipulators target your deepest fears, insecurities, and desires. They create situations where you feel compelled to act in their favor. Number 2. Authority and trust. Humans are conditioned to follow authority figures. A skilled manipulator presents themselves as knowledgeable, powerful, or even godlike. Number 3. Psychological conditioning. Repeated exposure to a certain idea, even a false one, can make it feel true. This is how propaganda, cults, and corporate marketing work. Now let's explore the most powerful manipulation techniques used by dark psychologists, manipulators, and even governments. Number 1. The illusion of choice. A manipulator doesn't force you to do something. They make you believe you chose it yourself. By limiting your options or presenting a choice that benefits them either way, they win no matter what. Number 2. Gaslighting. A person who controls your perception of reality controls you. Gaslighting makes the victim question their own memories, thoughts, and sanity, making them dependent on the manipulator for truth. Number 3. The foot-in-the-door technique. A small, seemingly innocent request often leads to bigger ones. Manipulators start with minor favors, building up until their control becomes absolute. Number 4. Fear and scarcity. Fear is a powerful motivator. Manipulators create a sense of urgency, act now, or you'll regret it, to push people into decisions they wouldn't normally make. Gaslighting is not just used in relationships, it's a tactic found in corporate settings, media, and even government propaganda. Have you ever seen headlines that contradict each other? Statements that make you question reality itself? This is gaslighting on a mass scale. The scariest part about manipulation? It works best when you don't even realize it's happening. Every advertisement, political speech, even the way social media is designed, all use some form of psychological influence. The only question is, how much control do you actually have over your own mind? Number 5. Social proof. People tend to follow the crowd. Manipulators create the illusion that everyone else is doing it, pressuring individuals into compliance. So I'll leave you with this, now that you know the tactics. Will you use them for defense, or will you wield them for power? Historical cases of master manipulation. Number 1. The propaganda machine of Nazi Germany. Through fear, mass messaging, and censorship, the Nazi regime controlled public perception, creating one of history's most effective manipulation machines. Number 2. The Stanford Prison Experiment. An experiment that revealed how quickly people fall into manipulation when given perceived power or submission. Number 3. Julius Caesar and the betrayal of Brutus. Caesar's greatest strength was his ability to manipulate loyalty. But in the end, Brutus was manipulated into betraying him. Number 4, the Jonestown Massacre, Jim Jones. Through gaslighting, fear, and persuasion, Jim Jones convinced over 900 people to willingly drink poison in one of the most tragic cases of mass manipulation in history. So how to protect yourself? Number 1, understanding psychological triggers. Know your emotional weaknesses and where manipulation can take root. Number 2, building independent thought. Learn to question everything, seek multiple perspectives, and think critically. Number 3, recognize patterns. Manipulators follow predictable tactics. Once you know their techniques, they become powerless. Number 4, trust your intuition. If something feels off, it usually is. Learn to listen to that voice inside. The most terrifying thing about manipulation is how easily it can happen without you noticing. It seeps into everyday life, from the advertisements that push you to buy things you don't need, to the subtle ways relationships can be twisted for control. And yet, the greatest defense against manipulation is awareness. Once you understand the mechanics of manipulation, you can start recognizing it in real time. You will see the patterns, the techniques, and the subtle traps that once seemed invisible. And once you see them, they lose their power over you. But knowledge alone isn't enough. It takes courage to act. It takes resilience to push back against those who seek to control you. Ask yourself, are you truly making decisions based on your own desires, or are you following a script written by someone else? And finally, the most important question: now that you have this knowledge, will you use it to protect yourself? Or to gain power over others? Because the truth is, understanding manipulation gives you an edge. The question is, what will you do with it? If you found this video eye-opening, subscribe for more insights into dark psychology and the hidden forces shaping our world. Stay aware, stay powerful.